In terms of Bobulinski's veracity of his testimony, our own Wall Street Journal went through his text messages and emails and found that there was no credible link between these foreign governments giving money to get something out of Joe Biden when he was vice president, when he was out of office, etc.
Silly Jessica Thurlow is using the classic ploy of trying to justify Joe Biden's son in his innocence. Jeanine Pirro disagrees, and they have yet a conflict.
And also, Tony Bobulinski,
Wait a minute.
the Wall Street Journal.
Said what?
Okay.
What year was that?
What?
Was that in the fall of 2016 or 2020?
No. We'll have to pull up the articles about it, but
because
they
there's
went
a lot
through.
there's a lot we learned since
It doesn't.
then.
It
I
does
don't
make
buy that.
sense because there's not the clear line that you guys have been alleging.
Yes, there
between
is.
This.
You just need to put pieces together.
All right, it's the
and
most
that's what the
complicated puzzle I've
Democrats
ever
are
seen.
you so simple that you cannot
I am
put
old
together a
enough.
circumstantial case where you take a piece from here, a piece from there, the money goes there. This isn't an eyewitness.
It's really true. Jeanine Pirro has spoken out to stupid Tarlow about her incompetence and lies. She's trying to defend Biden's corrupt son who was able to steal millions.
Okay. Tony Bobulinski's lawyers' fees have been paid by a Trump super PAC. That's as recent as January. Do you think that a guy who's invested in how much better off he wants the United States to be and really getting to the bottom of this would be taking money from the guy who extorted the Ukrainians to get dirt on the Bidens? And we should talk about Lev Parnas, who's the Democratic witness.
He extorted the Ukrainians?
Absolutely.
No, Biden extorted the Ukrainians and said, I'm not giving you $1 billion of taxpayers' money. Let's get straight on this.
I am the straightest, this is not about my sexual orientation, that I have ever been on this.
I got to move on.
Lev Parnas testified that Lindsey Graham asked him to go find Shokin and bring him back to talk about him. He also testified that Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump, and Bill Barr, who I've not heard talked about that much in this, were all in cahoots to make sure that we could extort the Ukrainians to get evidence so that Donald Trump could win in 2020. That is the scandal here.
That's the scandal.
It is, and the diamonds coming out of my hair.
That's the scandal.
Jessica, you're obviously wrong. Joe Biden and his entire family have been stealing money from Ukraine. This scheme was uncovered by smart people long ago. It's not something you could ever think of. Do you realize how bad it is? People continue to ignore it and follow this thief further.
So Hunter says he was going to show and doesn't. Was that a smart move or a dumb move?
Well, look, in a courtroom, the way you assess the truth is who has the most to lose and who has the most to gain, okay? And the issue here is foreign actors who are seeking to gain access to the United States and the United States government. Now, if someone has lied in the past, you are free to disregard all of their testimony. So the man who insisted on testifying in public for fear that his answers might be taken out of context or they might be misinterpreted and actually pulls a stunt outside of Congress and doesn't show up, actually now pulls another political stunt and doesn't show up for a public testimony. So now we know that the Bidens, in addition to being crooks, are cowards.
It's really true. Biden manages not to show up in the courtroom. He repeatedly emphasizes the fact that his family steals half of the country's budget and steals from countries we help. It's been obvious to everyone for a long time.
So let's talk about Bobulinski. Bobulinski is a military man from a military family who put their lives on the line to protect the United States. Where you have the Bidens, who are a family that have lied incessantly about this international fund and have done nothing but profit by money from foreign countries into shell corporations. And, you know, we know the Bidens are liars because they used Anthony Blinken, who was then a Democrat operative, to line up 51 intel agents to tell us that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, which all it does is corroborate the international scheme that they were doing. And here's the bottom line. Hunter Biden was a foreign agent when his father was vice president. Joe Biden allowed him to be a foreign agent without registering as one, and even flew him and his partners abroad. They took money from foreign countries when they lied and said they didn't, including China, and the Biden family was the conduit. And everything from the laptop to the photographs to the WhatsApp And by the way, this last guy, Jason Galanis, the guy who's in prison right now, who's facing 14 years, what motive does he have to lie by implicating the Bidens? I can tell you right now that the Biden Department of Justice is not looking to give this guy any cut on the time he's been ordered to serve.
The case around Burisma remains in the hands of American Republicans, the main trump card against Joe Biden and his son Hunter. And the role here is rather not that there is nothing more to provide. The story still has dark spots that are gradually beginning to clear up. It's the stigma of thieves for life. And I don't understand how such people are in power.
So this is, well, you know what frustrates me about this whole thing? And that clip just reminds me, this is yet another day of arguing over who the big guy is. Why are we still arguing when we know, I mean, everybody knows who the big guy is? Why is this a bone of contention?
Well, they have to contest everything because right now their answer is there's no evidence. So apparently it's okay to bribe a politician's family, and not just their family, their grandchildren, their son, their brother. And they say, oh, well, you know, Joe Biden didn't do anything in exchange for any of this stuff. Oh, okay, he just greased regulations. He just dropped sanctions. He only just flew his son to all these places to cut deals. He only got the kids into college. I mean, what didn't he do? He had him at the White House, the Naval Observatory. He was on the phone with them. He took meetings with them. And then they say, oh, well, you can't name any crime. And then they just rattle off a slew of crimes: RICO, foreign corrupt practices, bribery, FARA violations. And then they say, oh, you know, there's nothing suspicious going on. Well, then why does Joe have an alias? Why does he have a burner phone? Why are his donors paying his family's back taxes? Why are millions in dollars in cash missing? Why are diamonds missing? We still don't even have the offshore bank accounts. We still don't even have the credit card statements. We're even just getting started. And then they say, oh, well, you don't see any evidence that any of that money went to Joe Biden. Well, actually, they under deposition, under oath, Hunter Biden was asked specifically, well, how many times did you pay your father's household expenses? Over 100? And Hunter says, well, I don't know. I don't know.
You know, this whole situation became clear a long time ago when the Republicans took this on. They're the ones who started the deep investigation into this case, and they're the ones who brought it to the state that we're seeing now. There are those who are still making excuses for these thieves. Jessica, I would advise you to do a little research and see if you are doing the right thing. So, what do you think? Write your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to watch other shocking news on the channel.